let's move on to China, which I have a big problem with China and what they've done to this United States, but we've allowed them to.
Yes.
They own 1.4 million acres of Louisiana land, which is 7%, the highest in the nation of our land. We have 23.9, and I'm talking about crop land. You know, Bill Gates is the largest farmland owner. Ted Turner is the largest landowner in America. Americans who are the largest. Yeah. And when I did a show with Dr. Strand in December, it was 250,000 for Gates. Today it's 270,000. He's gobbling up land all over the country.
At a very frequent rate.
You know why, you all? We're the most blessed country in the world. Nobody has the resources that we have. That's right. China didn't have enough food, although they're 1.5 billion people. But they don't have enough food. They don't have enough land. They bought Smithfield pork also. They bought that under Obama. I didn't know that. I buy pork for my little doggies because I don't eat it. But I was looking at it one day and I was reading something. I said, oh, wow, this is the company they own. I think that's the largest pork manufacturer in the country. Would they let us buy anything in China? The answer is no. You're definitely not going to fly balloons over that country either.
Very, very, very good point.
Yeah.
But about HB 125, the bill you're talking about, Representative Michael Echols brought it, and it's a bill that specifically prohibits enemy foreign governments like China, the Russian Federation, Iran, those governments from purchasing agricultural land inside the state of Louisiana.
But it didn't pass.
It passed in the regular session in the House and the Senate substantially, overwhelmingly.
Did people get paid off, you think, when it goes back? How do you change your mind in 2 weeks? I mean, if you really have the wherewithal to say, this is what I want to do, when you sent it to the governor, when it comes back from the governor, why do you change your mind? It's what you believe in.
I'll tell you, Dan, because the governor puts an awful lot of pressure on those legislators. And one of the biggest sticks that he has to wield is funding for their projects, that he can put a red line.
Well, they call them like pig projects. They used to call them piggy something or something. What do they call them? Chrissy, what do they call them?
Projects.
Pork. Yeah, they call them pork projects.
Some of them, actually, in fairness, are very important infrastructure projects for their parishes, so he threatens that. But anyway, he puts a lot of pressure on him, wields a big bat between the end of the session.
So the governor does it.
Yeah, he did it. So he peeled off.
I thought somebody may have paid him off, is what I was thinking.
But in the veto override session, this bill goes back in, passes out of the House, and then it goes into the Senate. And because of several Republican Senate RINOs, it failed by 2 or 3 votes to override the governor's veto. Think about this bill. And
how many more people do we Republicans in the House than Dems, and how many more in the Senate? More Republicans.
There's 105 Republicans in the House, and there's 39 senators. And so this bill to prohibit our foreign enemies from purchasing land in agricultural land was failed 3 votes in the veto override session. And I feel like I've got to mention the names of the Republicans.
Oh, I want you to. That's what this show is about. We're going to put the pictures up here of them because people out there need to know who they're voting for.
Right.
They don't know. And that's when we did this show last year, Chris. That's what we had talked about. People don't know. They're thinking their people are true Republicans, or if you're a Democrat and it happens to you, you're thinking your person is a true Democrat. You need to know what you want to vote for is getting done.
So may I interject quickly?
Sure.
So Christopher and I spent a lot of time at the legislature watching these people, for the last 2 legislative sessions almost daily. And I witnessed twice, you were talking about Clay Scheck-Snyder, the Speaker of the House. I witnessed 2 times when there was a bill being heard in the committee and the committee chair said, you know, we've got the votes, right? Got the votes, this is going to pass, it's going to be fine. The door behind the committee members opens, Clay Scheck-Snyder walks through slowly, traipses through, make sure that all the committee members see him and exit stage left.
Is this like a threat to them?
Well, there is not a word spoken, but I will tell you this happened twice. I've witnessed it twice. Chris was there as well.
Sure was.
After he goes out the other door and the vote is taken, we don't have the votes anymore.
That's a strange, it's almost like the mafia kingpin.
That is what I compare it to. Right. The henchmen for the mafia.
Yeah.
Right. The henchmen.
The leaders, Diane, in there, the Speaker, the Senate President, wield massive power over the rank and file.
You know, the only way to stop them from doing that is to get more information out to the people, the voters, right?
That's right.
That's what this is about. You're doing your podcast. But
and thank goodness for you, Diane, because really there's not enough. There aren't enough media outlets like yours that are telling the truth.
Right.
And what a powerful voice you have. But it is important for your viewers to know that this very important agricultural bill failed in the Senate, passed out of the House, but failed in the Senate in the veto override session because of 4 Republican RINO senators.
And we'll put their pictures up here, Chris.
And I want to say who they are. One was Senator Fred Mills, who is retiring.
That's the same guy with the last bill.
Same guy with the last bill. Rogers Pope out of Livingston, who has endorsed the RINO Buddy Mincy to fill his seat out there, voted against it. That's 2. And there were 2 Republican RINOs who, although they were at the session, they apparently were in the men's room or maybe had gotten stuck in the elevator or on a chair. Patrick Connick, who's running for re-election out in Jefferson Parish, and also Louis Bernard from up in North Louisiana. If those 4 Republicans had done the right thing, this legislation overrides the governor's veto and would be law right now in Louisiana. It was Republicans that killed it.
And that's the problem with the Republican Party. It's dysfunctional. If you really want to get something done, don't give it to a Republican to do, because it won't get done.
Yes.
And that's why, no matter what you believe, but that's why Democrats win, because they stick together. And Republicans won't do it for whatever the reason, whether they're afraid of somebody, whether they're getting paid, or whether they truly are not really a Republican, not a conservative, and they're really a Republican in name only.